call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Let the roll call reflect that Director Peterson.
Derek's here.
And Derek is here, so the only one absent tonight is Director Peterson. 4.0 student representative information, no student rep tonight. 5.0 agenda additions and deletions.
Madam Chair, if we could remove 11.3 for tonight.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, 6.0 visitor input. Has anybody signed up? Nobody has signed up with me as well. 7.0 approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the one deletion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion by Sather, second by Addy. Any discussion?
Yes, is 11.2, is there anything that will fall under the 11.3 that we had the emails today?
She got a full-time job somewhere else. This is not, the
Okay.
the job she's resigning from isn't full-time.
Okay, I just wondered if there was anything in regards to
Press
Yeah, hold it.
All right.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 8.0 approve the treasurer's report for the month of April and the first check writing of May.
Well, for the last check writing of April, we had receipts of $1,304,401.68, disbursements of $585,257.85, and payroll we had $646,752.70, with a balance in the miners bank of $4,237,937.51. In the Gilbert Bank, we had $2,054,490.61 for a total between the two banks of $6,382,428.12. For the first check writing of May, our disbursements, we had $189,432.36. And that's it.
All right, do we have a motion to approve?
Also, move we approve the treasurer's report for the month of April and the first check writing of May.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion by Gentilini, support by Mullner. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 9.0 consent agenda. A, approve the minutes of the regular meeting on Monday, April 23rd, 2018. And B, approve the renewal of the food service contract for 2018-2019.
Madam Chair, if it so be the board, I'd like to remove item B from the consent agenda and that would become 10.1. The reason for that is since the agenda was written, I have something that the board should probably discuss before passing it.
Okay. So we need a motion to approve the consent agenda with B being removed. Correct?
Yep.
Do we have a motion?
I'll
Second?
Support.
Motion by Addy, support by Gentilini. Any discussion?
Do we know why it's being removed from there, Jeff?
We'll talk about it on 10.1.
Okay, all right.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Items removed from consent agenda. 10.1, approve approval of the renewal of the food service contract for 2018-2019.
So Madam Chair, the renewal of the food service contract, of course, is with INAC. Given the changes that we made last year with closing one of the cafeterias, we have reduced our costs so that we haven't had to increase food prices for the last 2 years, and we don't have to increase this year, which is why I originally put in the consent agenda, because there is no change. However, I was asked later in the week, approached by INAC, if the board wanted to entertain INAC preparing lunches for a neighboring charter school. The neighboring charter school, their food service provider lost their license. I guess I shouldn't say that. Something happened with the food service provider from the other school, and they can no longer serve lunches. Overall, this would only net us approximately $3,000 to $4,000 for the 2018-2019. So it's not a windfall by any means. But I told her that I would bring this up before the board. My personal recommendation is that the board chooses not to do that, and the reason that I say that is not for being that way necessarily, but we're taxed in that cafeteria as it is because everybody's eating in the same cafeteria now. That I worry about their ability to prepare more food, and would rather concentrate on our own kids and getting them fed and out rather than worrying about somebody else's. So. But you can discuss that and approve the contract as is, or decide if you want to add on.
So has this been adjusted, Jeff, for like down to 2 kitchens, or, I mean, it shows an increase. I mean, did they factor in that we're down to 2 kitchens, or was it when this contract was wrote up for 3 kitchens, right?
Yeah.
So why don't they, since they're using 2 kitchens, can they rewrite the contract to figure out their costs?
I guess I didn't notice that. I have to apologize for that, but I thought that was done. I just had a conversation with them, so I
mean, because that would definitely affect the price of this if they're, you know, because they would have to maybe somewhat reduce staff now that they're running.
They did reduce staff this year.
Which would reduce our cost.
Yeah.
Okay. And as far as
well, our cost, remember now, our food service program is self-sustaining. So there is no cost to us. I mean, the money that they take in, they either have to raise the price, if their costs are going up, they have to raise food prices.
But they are a for-profit business, though, correct?
Yeah. Okay. But it's not from, the only time
sales of our food.
Yeah, the only time that we lose money is if kids don't pay, and we have to foot that bill at the end of the year. But overall, it's set to run itself.
I mean, I would like to see that this contract be written to be out of 2 kitchens versus 3, because if they had to reduce staff, it would reduce the cost to us.
Yeah.
Or not reduce the cost, but it would reduce the percentage of increase for the next year.
Yeah, like I said, there has not been an increase last year, and there isn't one this year either. So.
But there should be some sort of reduction in cost.
There is.
Okay. And as far as like using our kitchen to prepare food for the other charter school, I don't think if they are a for-profit company, they'd be using our kitchen to make money at the expense of the use of our equipment. You know what I'm saying? So if you were going to make, how did you get the $3,000?
That's what they told me.
Oh, so they just didn't put nothing together for you to?
No.
Yeah, okay. Just say if you're going to use our equipment to prepare food for their charter school, I mean, and they are a for-profit business, I don't think it's a good idea. And I hope the board would appreciate that, my opinion.
I understand too that Masabi East now is no longer under a contract. They have a separate food service of their own.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I don't know that.
Possibly we should look into that before making a decision on this one.
Right, I mean, have we done a cost analysis to having the food prepared by our own staff?
It was done years ago before I was here, but at the end of the day, any food service program, whether it's prepared by ourselves or INAC, I mean, it's all about how much you're charging. I mean, it's a self-sustaining program. So, I mean, it's for us to go on our own, it's not going to necessarily cost us any more than it would.
That's your opinion, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But what I'm saying, I mean,
mean, if you put it-
if it costs us $2 to make a cheeseburger, that's what we, I mean, that's how a food service program is supposed to run. You charge $2 for a cheeseburger.
I mean, can we look into,
If the board so desires, the past boards haven't. We thought about it for a while.
I mean, we're a small district, I don't see why we couldn't look into that.
We can. However, as far as getting that set
Mhm.
for next school year,
Yeah.
pretty tough. I mean,
Yes,
that's
I
something
agree.
that's going
I
to take
agree.
some time.
So are you saying that if we're thinking about doing that, maybe we should put that off until next year as something?
No, I'm saying if the board so desires to look into their own, I mean, that's fine. I mean, it's not the first time that's been suggested. But I'm telling you, as of right now, for 2018, 2019, that's not going to happen. I mean, we're not going to have something in place by the
Right,
time the
I
kids get
agree.
here. So, and this
But at
is
least-
just a one-year deal, so I mean, just pass it, say we'd like to look into doing our own thing. I can bring somebody in, they can do a study, and give you the information that you want, if that's what you desire. If you want to stay with INAC, stay with INAC. Like I said, this is not a cost, whatever you do, it's not a cost savings to us. I mean, it's a break even. We typically lose well, I shouldn't say it's a break even. We typically lose $8,000 to $10,000 a year in our lunch program, but that's because of kids that don't pay.
Why can't we make money off of this?
You're not allowed to.
Not?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so,
I mean, you can say not making money and saving money by reducing the cost of the lunch program or their cost to us. You can look at it that way. It's not making, I mean, you're saving money versus making money. It'd be nice to save money on this program if we could.
But we're not going to save, the district is not going to save a cent on food service, either way.
Okay.
I think we lean to look less at, I mean, yes, fiscal responsibility in
Mhm.
terms of the product we provide, but, so we were at for the state, what you would call it, but the vendors come and they show that basically what they have to offer in terms of lunch programs. And I don't know, I haven't walked in that lunch room, but these are two that, well, three of us were there, 3 board members, of vineyards. And so this would be like, these are based out of the cities, and it might be cost more, but it's very healthy food, and they focus on dishes from like the South American dish, like the national dish, the African national dish, a European, a French national dish. And so it's not about making money, but potentially providing something that people would be like, wow, this is pretty cool. And they're going to enjoy it, and it might fill out lunchroom. Another one was lunchtime services or solutions. That was from South Dakota, and they had a program where I believe it was every Wednesday and Friday it was a hot ham and cheese, but it wasn't it wasn't always hot ham. It was apples and mixed with bacon on one, but it was very popular, and we tried some of these foods. Now there was probably a dozen there, but these were the 2 that I thought, and so not for this year because I understand like the time frame, but I have copies of these, but I hand these to the administration, and then maybe something to consider. But we look at what that might cost for 2018, 2019, and say, all right, this is what this dish looks like, and maybe it costs $1 more a dish, or maybe it's 50 cents or 25 cents compared to what we offer right now, and let's expand our horizons a little bit and provide some better quality, if we deem that to be better. But in terms of, I don't think we should pass it if this contract was for three cafeterias, we have 2, and considering that they would be using our equipment, I think we need to, instead of passing it tonight, we need to look at this and then maybe rewrite the contract. It's just from my impression.
What is your suggestion?
It's really not, like I said, I mean, it's not going to matter. We're not going to save anything on this. I mean, it doesn't matter if it says 3, 4, or 5 kitchens in there. It's still a self-sustaining program.
Okay.
But they're a for-profit company, Jeff, so if they reduce their cost of one kitchen, they just making more money off
But
it.
it's not going to save the district anything. It's going to save the kids more. I mean, they could reduce their food prices, but it's not, we're not getting anything.
Is that what you're looking at?
It saves
Is
the
that what
budget, doesn't it? Because our food service costs would go down, wouldn't it?
We don't have the food service program is self-sustaining.
Okay.
Whatever they deem is going to be the cost of food service for 2018, 2019, that's what they charge the kids.
And they make those decisions.
Yeah.
I know.
I just think we need a little more clarity on this. Like you said,
So,
I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I wouldn't sign a contract that if you're talking 3 kitchens and now you're down to 2 kitchens and they reduce their staff, you know.
in the event of equipment failure, we replace it, the school?
What's that?
If we lose a convection oven or something, then it's up to the school to replace it?
Yes.
We don't get any rebate back from them at all.
So if a piece of
So
equipment,
we're financing all the equipment part of it then.
So is it an easy thing to contact them and write up a new contract that reflects 2 kitchens?
Sure.
Is that,
Where is it showing the 3 kitchens, please?
I'm not seeing it so
Can you
far.
tell me which page?
no, but the price is based
Can you
on,
put, what page? Like, I'm really stuck on what you're bringing up because it's
well,
not-
Jeff brought it up that it was based on 3 kitchens.
I didn't say that.
No.
Did I say
Oh,
that?
okay.
Like, I mean, I don't have an issue with what the contract shows. I do not see an issue. We are
Okay.
not going to create, I think what Derek brought as far as why I would be interested in looking at our cafeteria program is for that reason. Like, what can we do to make it better? Not necessarily, we're not going to make money, we are not going to, I mean, those are not the conversations we should be having as a school district. We are here to improve the education for our students and improve their experience to help them have a better education. Part of that is nutrition. I mean, so that's a conversation I'm very interested in having at some point. We are not able to have that now. I will make a motion to approve this contract.
okay, we got a motion by Sather, second by Chad. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
Motion carries with Gentilini and Addie, no. Okay. 11.0 personnel. 11.1 approve the notice of retirement for Linda Erickson, elementary teacher.
Madam Chair, Ms. Erickson's been with us for the last 14 years. She's been both in Gilbert and probably the last 6-7 years over in the Franklin, in the 2nd grade. So she's decided to retire, and we wish her well. Thank you for your service.
How many years did you say she's been
She's
with
been
us?
here for 14.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your service. Do we have a motion?
I will make a motion to approve the notice of retirement. And yes, I have worked with Mrs. Erickson, and it's been a pleasure to, well, not work with her, I guess, as a PTA. I feel like I've worked with her, but it's been a pleasure to know her. And she's been great with the students, so we'll miss her.
I'll second.
Support Sather, motion by Sather, support by Addie. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 11.2, approve the resignation of Katie Ankley, ECFE teacher.
Yeah, Miss Inkley was a early childhood family education teacher, part-time. She found herself a full-time elementary position, so.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
She was just here for this year, so
Okay.
appreciate it.
I'll make a motion to approve the resignation of Katie Inkley.
And I will second. Motion by Sather, support by Lotiger. Any further discussion?
Has she say where district she's going to, or anything in here on the...
I'm not diving into that.
Yeah, I don't think that that's something that we can discuss. It's private information.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
Are we going to do an exit interview at all, or are we going to plan on doing that at all?
We
Randy?
still need to have a work
Okay.
session on that topic.
Okay, good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed? Motion carries. 12.0 new business, 12.1 resolutions, numbers 654 through 662 relating to the termination and non-renewal of the teaching contracts of probationary teachers.
Madam Chair, normally around this time of year, we have been, we create these resolutions for most of our probationary teachers. This year, given the increase in teacher shortages, we opted not to on most of them. The ones that are before you, Resolution 654 through 662, are only there because the people in question don't have, they're either teaching on a variance or they don't have a license. So by law, we have to lay them off and post those positions in the event that a licensed teacher would apply.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that they can't be recalled eventually, but not until July 1st.
Okay.
So you would need to, this is a resolution, so you'd have to
Go through each one
go
individually?
each one
Or a
and do a
roll
roll
call.
call vote individually.
You do have to do a roll call vote, even if it's not?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Hey Jeff, on that, excuse me, but on that where you said you'd have to lay them off in case a licensed teacher applies, where is that, where can I find that statute or policy?
Don't know off the top of my head.
Is that a Minnesota State Department of Education thing? For
Um,
variances?
I don't know that I'm going to speak to that because I don't have exact wording
Okay.
in front of me, but
Okay.
We've done this in the past, though, previous years.
we do it every year. Actually, to more of an extent than previous years.
All right. So for resolution number 654 in the matter of a non-renewing probationary teacher, Christopher McIntyre, I need a motion to move the resolution as presented in the board packet.
I will make a motion.
Second? I will second. Motion by Sather, second by Lotiger. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Well, I have a discussion. So these, are we going to sit down with these individuals? We mentioned that we might ask them to come back in the future. Do we sit down and talk to them? Do they get a letter from us, from the school board?
What's that?
Did they get a letter from us thanking them?
After these
saying-
resolutions get passed, yes, we have to visit with each of them individually.
And then we give them the potential for future employment? Say,
As soon as we can.
I have to, all these positions would have to be posted if they still exist.
okay?
And a licensed teacher has to be given the opportunity to
Opportunity.
take them. If there aren't any, then we would have the opportunity to hire somebody on a variance again on July 1st.
So they know July 1st, there's potential you'll be receiving a phone call or a letter from us.
I can't make that promise because
Yeah.
if somebody licensed applies,
Then it's not, okay. All right.
Okay. No further discussion. We need to do roll call vote, correct?
Yes.
Director Gentilini?
Yes.
Director Chad?
Yes.
Director Addy?
Yes.
Director Sather is yes. Director Lotiger?
Yes.
Director Mullner?
Yes.
And Director Peterson is absent.
I have to say motion passes
Yeah.
unanimously
Yep, now move to the
with
next one.
Mr. Peterson absent. For resolution number 655 in the matter of a non-renewing probationary teacher of Tucker Keene.
Oh, you know what, Madam Chair? I apologize, we were supposed to take that one off, right?
It's for a special ed.
Well, that's for the special ed, all right, never mind. It's for .4 special ed,
Okay.
sorry. We're gonna, because he does social studies for us as well, and we still have that position, so we'll keep him for that, and if this hasn't been filled on July 1st, we'll go back.
Okay. So for Tucker Keene, I need a motion to move the resolution as presented in the board packet.
Motion.
I will second. Motion by Mulner, second by Lotiger. Any discussion? Roll call
So
vote.
just confirming then this is only for the .4
This is
special
only
ed
for the special
position?
ed part, yeah.
Okay. Roll call for Director Gentilini?
Yes?
Director Chad?
Yes.
Director Addy?
Yes.
Director Sather, yes. Director Lotiger?
Yes.
Director Mulner?
Yes.
And Director Peterson is absent.
Motion carries unanimously with Director Peterson absent. For resolution number 656, in the matter of a non-renewing probationary teacher of Jessica Corticus, I need a motion to move the resolution as presented in the board packet.
Madam Chair, this is also, she works full-time for us. She's licensed in math, so we're not laying her off for the math part, but we do have to lay her off for the science part that she's not licensed for.
But she's already licensed, no?
She has a license in math.
Okay. Okay, I need a motion.
All motion.
I'll second. Motion by Sather, second by Lotiger. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
No
Director
discussion then.
Okay, sorry.
Is she licensed, Jeff?
In math.
In math? And if she decides to go and leave the district, then we're going to be looking for another teacher, right?
Right.
Is this a good decision to be making, too, all the time, to lose a
This
licensed
is-
teacher?
This isn't for math, it's just for science.
She teaches .4 science right now, so it's just the science part.
She'll still be teaching the math, but she's not licensed in science, so it's a full-time position, math position. She still works for the district. It's just not having her be a
Science.
substitute for the science aspect.
It just has to be opened up for a licensed teacher, being that she's on a variance for that.
Yep.
If I understand correctly.
You're correct.
Okay. Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Director Gentilini?
Yes.
Director Chad?
Yes.
Director Addy?
Yes.
Director Sather is a yes. Director Lotiger?
Yes.
Director Mulner?
Yes.
And Director Peterson is absent.
Motion carries unanimously with Director Peterson absent. For the resolution number 657, in the matter of a non-renewing probationary teacher, Ann Riles, I need a motion to move the resolution as presented in the board packet. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
Support.
Motion by, was it you?
Yes.
By Addy, support by Gentilini. Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Director Gentilini?
Yes.
Director Chad?
Yes.
Director Addy?
Yes.
Director Sather is a yes. Director Lotiger?
Yes.
Director Mulner?
Yes.
And Director Peterson is absent.
Motion carries unanimously with the exception of Director Peterson, who is absent. For resolution number 658, in the matter of a non-renewing probationary teacher, Debbie Jackson, I need a motion to move the resolution as presented in the board packet. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion by Sather, second by Mulner. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Director Gentilini?
Yes.
Director Chad?
Yes.
Director Addy?
Yes.
Director Sather is a yes. Director Lotiger?
Yes.
Director Mulner?
Yes.
And Director Peterson is absent.
Motion carries unanimously with the exception of Director Peterson, who is absent. For resolution number 659, in the matter of a non-renewing probationary teacher, Ellen Williams, I need a motion to move the resolution as presented in the packet. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
I will
Second.
Motion by Mulner, second by Gentilini. Any further discussion?
Do we know what she does for our district again, Jeff?
Ellen is she's an early childhood teacher.
Yeah, CFE.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote?
Director Gentilini?
Yes.
Director Chad?
Yes.
Director Addy?
No.
Director Sather's a yes. Director Lotiger?
Yes.
Director Mulner?
Yes.
And Director Peterson is absent.
Motion carries with Director Addy, no, and with Director Peterson as being absent. For resolution number 660, in the matter of non-renewing probationary teacher, Brad Matuzak, I need a motion to move the resolution as presented in the board packet. Do I have a motion?
I have a motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion by Sather, second by Mulner. Any further discussion? Roll call vote?
Director Gentilini?
Yes.
Director Chad?
Yes.
Director Addy?
Yes.
Director Sather's a yes. Director Lotiger?
Yes.
Director Mulner?
Yes.
And Director Peterson is absent.
Motion carries unanimously with Director Peterson absent. For the motion, for the resolution of number 661 in the matter of a non-renewing probationary teacher, Matresa, McKay, I need a motion to move the resolution as presented in the board packet.
So move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion by Gentilini, second by Mulner. Any discussion? Roll call vote?
Director Gentilini?
Yes.
Director Chad?
Yes.
Director Addy?
Yes.
Director Sather's a yes. Director Lotiger?
Yes.
Director Mulner?
Yes.
Director Peterson is absent.
Motion carries unanimously with the exception of Director Peterson, who is not present. For resolution number 662 in the matter of a non-renewing probationary teacher, LaDonna Mooster, I need a motion to move the resolution as presented in the board packet. Do I have a motion? I will make the motion. Do we have a second?
One second.
Motion by Lotiger, second by Sather. Any discussion?
Jeff, do we know what, she's a music teacher, right? She has something to do with music?
Is that what this is for?
Point two, yeah.
Yep.
Any
Okay.
further discussion? Roll call vote?
Director Gentilini?
No.
Director Chad?
Yes.
Director Addy?
No.
Director Sather's a yes. Director Lotiger?
Yes.
And Director Mulner?
It's too late for discussion, isn't it? Yes.
Director Peterson is absent.
So motion carries with Gentilini and Addy as noes, and Director Peterson is absent.
Was there a question that you had?
I'm just curious. So music, how many teachers do we have teaching music right now? Just out of curiosity. We have two. So that's one of two?
No.
So it's two full-time positions?
And the point two that we just said.
Okay. Thanks.
Great.
Well, actually, if you include orchestra in that, that's actually a little more than that. Probably about 2.5.
Okay. 12.2, discussion on early outs.
Sure.
You want me to pass it up? If you want to pass it around, we sent you, shared that email with you, we shared that slideshow with you.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you.
Yep.
Putting one on the table. It's just one paper? Yep. Okay.
Good? We're good? You want me to
So-
switch?
Jill Clinton. We've been working with
Ms. Williams. We've been working with Ms. Williams and Mr. Grippenchuk this year on early out staff development. So they asked us to put together some information for you to kind of let you know what we've done this year with our early out time so that you can discuss where to move forward with that for next year. So we currently had in our contract that we had 2-hour after-school in-services. We took our additional early out time on those days to have 3-hour trainings. So the things that we were really focusing on this year, standards-based instruction, student-centered learning. We switched over to using Schoology at the 7 through 12 level. So there was a lot of work with that. The Google Suite, and then Apple Classroom, iPad tips and tricks. That was kind of our focus for this year. As I said, we used those 3-hour time frames to really focus on those, and then followed up with additional early out time, continuing on that. We did that for about the first half of the year, and then the second half of the year we moved into professional learning communities. So every other week we met in grade level meetings or professional learning communities. Those professional learning communities, the teachers chose kind of what they wanted to talk about, and that's how we made our groupings. Based on where we were, what building we were in, what our needs were, there were different things that we were looking at. I can speak for the junior high building. We continued some of those same discussions with technology, but we also talked a lot about discipline, motivating kids, looking at practice and assessment, how we can make that better, increasing rigor, and then in those grade level departments, really taking a look at our standards and our curriculum and making sure that that was lined up. Mr. Strasser can talk about the high school.
Yeah, and at the high school, we focused on, one group was for technology, and the other group was more on student apathy and school climate, and how to obviously get rid of the apathy and improve the climate.
We don't really have a representative to speak to the elementary, but from what we heard, similar things, a lot on technology, especially since the elementary school got one-to-one iPads this year. And again, some of those best practices in their grade level meetings. Go ahead. So we surveyed the staff last week. This is kind of what we got back from them. So first asking them, how do you feel about early outs? And as you can see, majority of the staff thought that they were beneficial or loved them and wanted to continue to do that next year.
Can you go back to that?
Yeah,
one
please.
second? So red is the 33%, that's beneficial but not needed every week?
Correct.
That's 1/3. That's, okay. That says something. Something we need to consider going forward, potentially. Just wanted to state that.
Okay. We also asked for specific feedback. So we pulled out some of the things that the staff had to say, just really focusing on what was beneficial for them.
Yeah, you have it all on
It's all here.
It's all right there, yeah. I don't
The colors though, I wasn't sure. Like, all right. Everything's great.
So then we also asked the staff about PLCs. What did they think about setting things up in that way, those professional learning communities? So the sort of red color there, the 61% somewhat beneficial but needed adjustments, and then the blue and the 28% loved them, very beneficial. And again, we asked for some specific feedback about that. So what we found was overall the PLCs were beneficial, but they definitely had some changes to suggest. And so a few of those examples we put up there, more time to implement skills. There definitely was a concern about loss of class time, and so then being behind in content, and then having some more organization. So that's something that if you decide to go forward with early outs, the staff development team would need to look at those suggestions and really take those into consideration for how things are set up for next year.
And talking to other districts that do similar things, you never get it right the first time. So, I mean, this is our first year doing that. We kind of planned that there was going to be improvements that we had to make. And now we just have a better idea of what those improvements are.
We do have more specific feedback if you're interested in that. Lori has printed it out, and you can pass that around. I don't know if you want to say anything else about that.
So what I did, the PLCs, the idea of the PLCs was to be teacher-driven the last half of the year. So the staff was able to determine what their needs are. So because the staff took a lot of time and really gave us good feedback, I printed out just their feedback and ideas for the PLCs in case you want the specifics, or it could be discussed as a staff, in staff development. but for administration.
I'd love to see.
Yeah, I would
Okay, and then the second handout is, it starts with the early outs, and so just the feedback just on having the early outs every Wednesday versus every other, or whatever, this is their feedback for that. So PLCs and early outs, so I made a copy for everybody, so I'll pass those around.
Thank you.
Is there,
Can you
yeah.
keep a copy on the table there too, please?
Thanks.
Is there feedback regarding results from some of the, so like the apathy, student environment? Did we see a?
No, we don't have any data from
Right.
that at this moment.
Was there a difference between, maybe it was in there and I just didn't see it, we went through quick, but was there a difference between what, say, the Franklin says about early outs versus the junior high versus the high school? Because I'd be interested in that as well.
And I will speak to that because I sent out the survey. And I know that staff wanted to be anonymous, most of them, and I told them this would be an anonymous thing, it wouldn't be pointing fingers. So when I sent it out without email addresses attached,
Okay.
which in hindsight, I should have done one for Franklin, one for, to keep it anonymous, but yet collect that data per building. And so I did not do that this time around. So it is all mixed together, so I apologize for that.
Okay. Maybe
nice.
if, you know, if that is something, if this is something that we continue to do and move forward with, that I would like to know a little more about what each campus says.
And I see that there was about 21 responses out of 21. I mean, we have more teachers than 21. We have more than 21
Right.
teachers here.
Yep, those were the 21 who responded to our survey.
Yeah.
As of like 3 o'clock today.
Yep.
And when was it sent out?
Early last week.
Okay, all right. All right.
There's some good feedback on here, though, just looking at the first few pages. Thanks for this. This is good, something for us to take into consideration for the next year.
And this was specifically sent to teachers?
Yes.
And how many teachers do we have in our district total?
People-wise, about 67.
Oh, so that was
So you
a
got-
third. I mean, that's really not that bad for actually,
Should be better.
no, that's not that bad for surveys. Yeah.
All right.
There's just two
Anything-
sets, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Any other questions or anything? Anybody want to ask any other questions of them?
Thank you.
All right,
Oh,
thank
thanks.
you.
So, Madam Chair, at this time, I mean, you can make it, if you want to talk more about this, think about it, study session, just want to get it over with, I mean, that's up to the board at this point.
I guess I'd like a little more time to look at it, so we still need to schedule that study session for some of the topics that we missed the
Okay.
last study session. So if we can just put that on there, I would prefer that.
That's fine.
All right,
all.
Okay? Anybody else? Okay, moving on, 12.3, approve 2019 orchestra trip.
Orchestra trip is, you know more about this, Linda?
I just was asked if
Okay.
it could be approved.
So this is obviously, it's not our district that's organizing this on it, it's Virginia, who we share orchestra with. This would be allowing our students to go along on that trip that I think they do every 4 years. Because it is an out-of-state trip, so you'd have to approve it.
Okay. And the band does it every 4 years?
Yeah.
Do we know when this trip is going to, when this trip is scheduled?
March 25th through the 30th, 2019? March 25th, yeah, through the 30th, 2019, Orlando. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
And I will second. So motion by Sather, second by Lotiger. Any further discussion?
Well, it says, so the intent is that they travel and then be able to perform. One concern I have is Disney claims they can't schedule the performance until 1 month before the trip. So they're looking to perform at Universal instead. I mean, I believe that this is an important event, but
I think either opportunity. I mean, either they're going to Universal or they're going to Disney, and any opportunity the kids can have to, you know,
so I guess, well then my question is, are they trying to play somewhere? Because wouldn't you want that to be pretty clear and like organized and yep, we're going to be able to perform at this place, or is the intention just to go on a...
It's how that works, Derek, is when they go down there, they got like many bands play that day. Many bands play every day.
Right.
Many groups down there. I mean, like, so last year? Eveleth, Gilbert played down there, and they played at 10 o'clock, you know, and then they go marching through, and then a half hour later comes another band from another part of the country.
And they have numerous slots. They just fill them in as they...
Yep.
So it's not, okay, so this is standard procedures with these?
Yeah, well-
All right, cool.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right. 12.4, discussion on code of ethics violation. That would be something that I asked to put on the agenda for this evening. And basically, I just wanted to make the board aware of something that's been kind of ongoing, really since March of 2017, so a year ago this past March, but has gotten substantially worse in the course of the last 3 months. So bear with me if I give you information that's opinion or I start just kind of going on, but I want you guys to have a good picture because I'm going to ask for direction once I get through with all of this. So, like I said, I've been having issues with Director Peterson for a little over the course of a year now. March of 2017, I emailed the board chair at that time that I didn't think Director Peterson's behavior towards a community citizen was appropriate or professional. And within 3 days later, I received an email from Mike stating that he may have to file a formal complaint against me with the district and have me investigated. In addition, he stated he may take legal action against me personally, dependent upon what I had communicated to the angry mob, which is a quote from his email to me. He recommended I not speak about him in public until the matter was resolved. And as a board member at the time of about 2.5 months, I was intimidated by that, and I didn't say anything to anybody. About a couple months later, he started interacting with me again, so I thought we were good, and then in January of this past year, I was elected board chair, and it escalated. Sorry, my voice is cracking.
That's all right.
So January 10th, Mike made his first statement, or made his first of many accusations and allegations that I violated an open meeting law, and also stated that being board chair doesn't make me better than anyone else. January 16th of 2018, he wanted me to address a couple issues, and he told me that now that I'm the board chair, the burden is mine. January 30th, 2018, he made his first negative remark and attack against my personal profession. He sent an email, and in one of his statements, he said, "Figured working as a counselor, you would get that, but figured maybe this chart would help." He made 5 total attacks from about January until now, 5 total attacks towards my profession, including a study session rant about school counselors. On February 12th, he made a statement towards our AFSCME union. 2 days later, Mike began making negative remarks about the union, and I asked him to please don't do that today. And in the presence of Jeff and Tom, he said, "Don't even start with me, Brandy. I'm not in the mood to deal with your incompetence today." Jeff did tell him that he can't do that. On the 23rd of February, he made additional allegations that I was violating open meeting laws and amongst other things. February 28th, he apologized for his behavior and calling me incompetent and how that had made me feel, as well as the personal attacks. In return, I told him if I made him feel any way in particular that I apologized for that. Within 2 weeks, he started up again. On March 17th, he sent me an email stating, "I think this is dumb. I question your leadership." He also at that time emailed a board member personally attacking me and my integrity, in my opinion, making that board member question what I had been saying and looked into the matter, which if somebody has a question about something I say, I'm always wanting people to double check it because that's just what you should do. But on it came about though because of a personal attack. On March 25th, he sent another email, and I want you to keep in mind when he does send these emails, he is swearing in them. Not every other word, but there are swears in these emails. He said in an email that I'm worried about my kid and those of my cliques, and I'm only concerned about the popular kids and the good athletes, and not the loners and the losers. And he stated I have no leadership skills or integrity.
You have integrity.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
He mentions my ego and that if kids don't have the right last name for me, I don't care about them. And he signed it with "Shame on you." Sorry.
Take a break. Take a break.
Sorry.
Doing good.
Okay, at 3:26, as a result of that email, I sent out a code of ethics policy to all board members. And again, got a response that I'm violating open meeting laws. And I'd like you to keep in mind that those open meeting laws he was accusing me of were all unfounded by an attorney. And I also contacted, he had mentioned contacting the Department of Administration about all these open meeting laws he was alleging that I violated. So I did that. I contacted the Department of Administration. They stated I acted within the law, so I sent that email out and forwarded it and let the board know that. On 3/27, he emailed another board member, a different board member, again attacking me personally, and again brought up my child. For me, that was the last straw. That just goes beyond everything that I'm about. So I contacted an attorney. On 3/31, Mr. Peterson refused a cease and desist letter that I sent him via certified mail requesting that he stop his behavior towards me. And in the letter, I did tell him that I'm willing to let bygones be bygones and work professionally because we're on the board. And I just wanted him to stop doing what he was doing. And he refused the letter. So I again contacted an attorney because I didn't know what else to do. I was told that I could bring it to the board a long time ago, but I was doing my best to avoid that in this situation. I was trying to handle it on my own privately, so we didn't come down to this. On 4/3, I had a letter delivered to Director Peterson by sheriff. And again, I hadn't heard anything, so I thought things were going to be okay. On 4/9, we had a regular board meeting. All was well. People can watch that board meeting online. And there was things that I even agreed with Director Peterson on. It was professional. Then on 5/1, I emailed the superintendent asking if Ms. Sather could attend a negotiations meeting in place of Tom, who was on vacation. There was 3 reasons why I made that request. One was there's been sporadic attendance at meetings. 2, Kelly has had a lot of valid questions at regular board meetings regarding those contracts. And 3, Director Peterson's behavior and interaction with me had become unpredictable. On 5/7, we had a negotiations meeting. Mike attacked me. My opinion, Mike attacked me. He
Verbally?
didn't-
Verbally?
Yeah. He didn't believe that Kelly should be at a meeting, in attendance to that meeting. He thought that I should have contacted him about that. So I asked Superintendent Carey if that's the case, if I should have done that. I'm on the board for a month or a year and a few months. And so I assumed that since Superintendent Carey coordinates our committee meetings, the times, I figured that would be let known to Mr. Peterson. It wasn't an intentional thing at all. He began to attack me again about my integrity, about my ability to work with him professionally. And again, I want you to keep in mind that this has been ongoing for quite some time, and I have worked with him professionally. I've sat alongside of him. So he attacked me. He again attacked me, my integrity, my character, and then he also brought up the cease and desist letter that I had served to him by sheriff. I told him that we weren't here to discuss that and that I wasn't going to go there with him. And he again asked, well, did you or did you not send me the cease and desist letter? And I said, absolutely, I did. He was aggravated because I did tell him. He made a statement about my professionalism, and I did say that that's your opinion, and he didn't like that. So following the meeting that evening, he sent an email to Ms. Sather and to Mr. Carey and copied me on that email, again attacking me. At the attorney's advisement on, I believe it was the 8th, I contacted the attorney on May 8th and asked the attorney, what do I do? How do I take care of this? I can't continue to have this happen. So the attorney said, suggested that I try and sit down with him. So I sent an email, and I asked him I told him if he'd like to sit down with me and hash out these issues, that I'm available, that we can't continue to have meetings run the way they've been going. And again, I told him I would sit down and meet with him, and he followed up with another email, again, unprofessional, to myself and Mr. Carey and Kelly Sather. And so I responded to him that, I've worked with him professionally and interacted with him professionally, and the reason why I even replied all, meaning to Ms. Sather and to Superintendent Carey, was because his behavior towards me has escalated to the point that he gave me no choice. So that's why we're here and having this discussion. So what I am looking for from the board is I need direction on what to do about it.
Removal of Director Peterson from this board.
That's not a feasible option.
Why is it not?
He's an elected official, and there is many steps to that.
Who's behaving unprofessional?
He is behaving unprofessionally. I know, but I also, again, I have talked to the attorney about it, and that's really not a feasible option. There's lots that goes on in order to get that to happen. That's not really a feasible option, and really the people elected him, and my feeling is that's not something that I want to be a part of. We have an option of doing nothing.
I've seen emails to concerned citizens that are completely out of line.
And you're not immune to them,
No.
I mean, I've gotten plenty negative, both verbally and by email.
And we have 2 other complaints filed for this board that have not been addressed
Well,
concerning Director Peterson.
and I did bring that up too. I don't know if I really should speak on the community citizens complaint, because I just, again, I dot my I's and cross my T's because I have been accused numerous times of violating laws, so I'm
Well,
pretty
you
thorough.
felt threatened, did you not?
I
You
feel
stated you
pretty,
felt threatened,
I
Randy?
feel pretty,
Physically,
I
emotionally?
don't want to go that far. I don't want to go that far, but I will tell you that it's taken up a lot of my time, a lot of my thoughts, and there's a lot of mention of wasting school district money. And I have had to make phone calls to the school attorney on numerous occasions. Another point I'd like to make is that, you know, we all take an oath of office, and part of that oath of office is we're going to attend meetings, and he's absent again this evening. He was absent on the 23rd, I believe, of April as well, and he's not attending meetings, and he's being paid to be here. So, again, as far as, you know, as far as the complaint that the two of you have filed, you can, you know, you can mention that as well, but this has been a continual ongoing thing for, like I said, pretty heavy for the last couple months, 3 months.
I mean, I think I'm very proud of you for speaking up and saying something, because I know, I can't imagine how difficult that is, so I'm very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
We should be holding ourselves to a higher standard regardless, and I think everyone sitting here right now, so aside from Director Peterson being absent, everyone sitting here right now needs to take personal responsibility for how we interact with one another too, because I can say not everyone has always been appropriate with one another, and we do not always conduct ourselves in a professional manner, and we need to. And if we, I mean, we represent our district, and I expect that our children in our district are learning how to handle themselves and how to be appropriate and how to get along with people. And I tell my kids on a daily basis, I don't care that you don't like someone. I don't care. That's irrelevant to me, because you will never go through life liking every single person you come into contact with. You need to learn how to interact with people all the time.
And
That is what a life lesson
here are
is.
children.
And we have to
We
do
are
that
adults.
here. This
We are
is where
elected
it
officials.
starts.
I agree
Exactly.
100%, but you're not talking
mean-
about a child. You're talking about a grown adult.
Exactly. So
That
I
behavior is
think,
unacceptable. That's grounds for dismissal, in my
But-
opinion.
but that's
I've never
something-
been in any organization, or I'm on boards, I'm part of
but
numerous
that is
organizations.
something, okay, but one
God.
second. That is something that we can look at and see the process, because there are different things. And I do remember that what Brandy's speaking to, the MSBA does look at it very seriously when someone is removed from a board, that they are elected officials. So going through an election process to remove someone is, I mean, it's a big deal. So, but the other piece, so I think it starts
majority
with
vote.
us.
It's a
But
majority vote.
once, okay,
It's
you
not
guys,
just that, though.
one second,
That are
please.
illegal.
Sorry, Kelly.
Okay, again, before we, so I'm not dismissing anything that Brandy just spoke of, but what I can do is I can take ownership over myself, which is what each and every one of us can do, is own our own behavior and how we interact with each other. Okay, bottom line. Because I cannot sit there and tell Director Peterson how to interact. I can't deal with that. I don't have control over how someone else behaves.
As a whole, we
I,
can.
okay, but that
That's
isn't,
okay, man.
but I'm
We
speaking,
don't behave that way.
Hold on, Victor. Let her
okay.
finish. Let her
But
finish.
again, I think,
But it's not
it's
about,
so easy, I don't want, it's really easy for us to point the behavior,
I would
point
not
a
change my tone
finger.
if he was here.
It is,
I would not.
okay, but neither would I.
Good.
I'm not speaking to that. What I'm saying is, it's really easy to point a finger at the negative, the obvious negative behavior. Very easy for us. We also have to take some responsibility over our own behavior sometimes that engages in that.
but she
That
doesn't draw
encourages some of
that.
that. I'm not
She doesn't
saying,
draw that.
And I don't think Kelly is saying that.
understanding that,
Hold on,
Ashley.
Mike,
No,
hold
I
on 1
understand
second.
this.
Hold
Does
on,
anyone
I'm
here-
taking
Yes,
control
sure.
of this situation. Okay, my whole purpose of having this discussion today is I wanted to notify the board as a whole of what's been going on. Because I have not talked about it up until my child was brought up. That's when I saw an attorney, and that's when the line was crossed for me. Okay, so I do agree with Kelly. Each of us is responsible for our own actions. okay? And I am not the type of person that if I made a mistake, I'll let you know I made a mistake. I'll apologize for it, whatever. Kelly and I, we can have differing opinions and vote differently here at the table, but when we walk outside, we can still have a conversation. We let it go. It's adult behavior. It's professionalism. That's what I am asking for from here on out, is professionalism. If we don't agree with each other, we don't agree with each other. But when a decision is made, move on. It's not constant harassment of people. It's uncomfortable. I'm telling you, it's uncomfortable. It's
bullying.
It is bullying. Adults bully too. And what kind of role model would I be if I am talking to children on a daily basis about being an upstander and, you know, standing up to bullying? I'm an adult, and I'm doing that because you lead by example. What I'm asking the board to do is I'm asking you to think about your actions in your own personal interactions. But what I'm asking you to do in the situation that I brought up tonight about the Code of Ethics and a violation, and I will specifically tell you what I think, what sections of the Code of Ethics I feel you violated. But I need direction. I need you to tell me two things.
Yes, Madam Chair. I have an opinion to offer right now.
Okay, hold on one second.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a lot to say.
Okay,
It's about leadership.
we need to decide, are we going to do nothing? We can do nothing. 2, we can agree to, or come to a vote, whatever we choose to do, and decide whether or not I should get legal counsel advice on the situation. And like I said, I have done that. I have gotten some legal advice from our school attorney on how to handle this situation. Kicking them out is not feasible, and I'm not sitting here at this table as the one that's gone through this asking for you to kick him out, because I understand that he is an elected person. And I also understand that joining the board, I expected to have a certain amount of this type of behavior. What I did not expect is for it to be from a fellow board member, or that my profession, my personal character and integrity, and my family members will be brought up into situations. I did not expect that. So the other option we have is to do a public censure of Director Peterson, and we can do a vote, and we can ask the school attorney to draw up legal papers for a public censure of Director Peterson.
Brandy?
So, yeah.
So current times, elected officials, harassment, what's been going on? World, American view, state, federal, state level, what happens? Elected officials, what happens when they don't handle themselves appropriately? Yes, we have to all be responsible. We have to be held accountable. Who holds a gentleman or lady in an elected official position? Who holds them accountable if not their peers?
Yeah.
It's the public. If there's public outcry, then they usually resign. Or it's their peers. So don't feel like it's, I'm going to do a deep dive into this, but to me, this is not what we want for Eveleth Gilbert. This kind of behavior is not acceptable. But now this is what I want to say about just leadership in general. So you need 3 things for a successful group body to work collectively. You got to have shared understanding, right? You got to have mutual trust. Most importantly, is that discipline initiative, right? You have to act. If we do not discipline this kind of behavior, it provokes further behavior, even worse. It'll escalate.
Well,
And you have to have trust.
I'm hoping
You
to.
don't gain trust through badgering people.
I'm
I
hoping
want
to
that to be
avoid
clear.
that.
You know?
I'm hoping to avoid that, and I don't want to make this. Again, it is a big deal. It is a big deal, and but as the board chair, I also want to move past it. I want want to start, I want to start focusing on kids, and that's why I came here. I want to start focusing on kids. I want to start focusing on what we're looking at doing in the future. I'm ready to move on. I need the board's support. I need everybody's support to get this to stop. I've tried all other avenues. I've apologized. It was very difficult for me to even suggest sitting down with him after he's had numerous attacks with me, but I've done that. I sent a cease and desist letter in the hopes that he would stop, and he didn't, and so we're here. So again, what we need to decide is, are we going to do nothing? Are you going to have me go back to legal counsel and ask for advice, more options for us as a board? If you want me to ask again about the removal of a board member, but again, I'm not asking that. I'm not asking that. I'm asking that. I'm trying to.
I agree.
I am trying to.
Too far, too much.
Yeah, it's
Well,
very serious.
again, what we can do is I can talk to the legal counsel, but I'm telling you, it's not feasible. It's not feasible to remove a person, and I don't want to do that with an elected official. Whether it's a right or wrong, should I want to? Yes, probably, yes. But
Is it out of fear of what
no,
this
it's
director
not
might
out. No,
continue to do
it's
to you?
not. No, it's not out of fear. It's not out of fear. It's just the part about being an elected official. He was voted in.
Maybe the people of the town will express themselves. I encourage you, if you do not believe in that sort of behavior, I'd love to hear your input.
So what are my pieces? So I wanted to make it clear that I am not condoning or agreeing with how Director Peterson has handled himself, so I don't want assumptions made on that. And he's saying we take responsibility for our own behavior. So with how we handle ourselves, I think, again, we do it in a professional manner. So getting upset, I get the reaction, but I think, again, this is our test. This is our test right now of how we are going to handle this and how we're going to handle this situation as a board member collectively and figure out how best to handle this and be supportive. And I agree that this isn't what we want for our district, and this isn't what we want to represent for our school and for students or anyone. But I want to know what our options are, what the best process would be. And if, yes, he's a voted member, but and I know that, I don't remember, I just remember part of the training, that there is a process for removal of a voted member, but it's not from us, but it's actually through the voting
It isn't just
member from
No,
the population.
it's in 13, chapter 13, I do believe, in the state statute,
But what
elected official.
Okay, but what I'm saying is I know there's an option of a public vote to remove an elected official. So I would like to just look at more stuff rather than jumping and having a reaction because
Right. I mean,
it's a tendency to react because
It's
it's,
the first time we heard all this,
Yes.
but I don't think, if I heard it a second or third or fourth time, I promise you this, I'm not going to change my opinion on the fact that we do not behave in that nature
No.
towards fellow board members, but more importantly, to citizens. I have seen traffic, email traffic, to our people, and this is not how we treat our people. We are a tribe, right? We all have a contribution. Our contribution to them is to serve these fine citizens of Eveleth and Gilbert. And I can see no clearer, better way than to remove this behavior. That is a discipline. You don't let it, okay, you have a second chance. No. To me, that was a 13th, a 14th, a 15th, and a 16th chance from our chair, who none of us knew this was occurring. And now, and no disrespect, but you are in a difficult position. Okay? You're in a very difficult position. You might not inherently realize it, but an individual that's attacking verbally or bullying, you want it to stop. You said it about 3-4 times, I just wanted it to stop. And you just want it to stop. And you're thinking it might just be fine. Guess what?
Well, he proved
Guess
that
what?
it wasn't, but
It's not stopping.
So Superintendent Carey, you were starting to say something about that.
I was just going to say there is no recall for a school board member. That was all I had.
There is no public recall? Okay.
No, I think, isn't it 4 board members can...
I don't know about anything else. I just know that there's no
But
recall.
I think we have to,
I don't think
Check.
that's true.
It's in statute, Brandy.
believe it's three.
It's in the books that I
believe
gave
if
you.
if three make a motion requesting removal, then it's a majority vote. But I'm not 100, that's about 90%.
but I think we have to check. I don't think we can
Absolutely.
just
Can we
guess.
take it?
I'm just-
Okay,
for
so
public
in
meetings,
the,
it's
for the
not-
sake of time, these nice people have sat here for a long time. So for the sake of time, am I hearing what you would like me to do is you'd like me to seek out additional options from the attorney?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Do we need a motion on that? No.
She has authority to call.
Okay.
And let me just state that to Kelly, out of complete respect, we don't draw this behavior out of him. We are not asking for it.
I'm not saying, I am
Okay,
not.
we act as professionals,
not-
we do. And as the first,
And
as the first, no, just, I know, but let me just say, as Brandy is my witness, the first day, the first meeting I attended, I was attacked. I was attacked. I mean, he just, no one's immune to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean,
I'm not-
that's just me, that's me. I mean, I've been attacked, my business has been attacked by email. I've been, I've had fair conversations with him in regards to my integrity as a board member, of how I should vote. I mean, I got a dossier of emails from him that I could compile, which would probably equal to the same amount of time you discussed in front of this board.
But
Okay?
but I'm not saying that I'm not connecting any one of our behavior to someone like that. I mean, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if someone is acting that way to us, we have to hold ourselves to a higher standard.
We
do
do.
not engage.
harassment.
We do not. We do
don't hold yourself to
not.
higher
But you have to hold yourself to a higher standard. I don't care that someone is swearing at me. I cannot. I'm a professional elected official. If it's a fellow board member, I can't sit here and engage with you on it. Whether it's someone speaking up as a visitor, I need to sit here and listen and be respectful, whether they are upset with our board or not. I need to sit here and be respectful and listen to what they are saying.
But
That's all I'm saying, you guys. I'm not condoning anything. I'm
and
saying
it's-
I can answer for how I behave, and that's all I want people to be aware of.
You're not a question. We're not.
Yeah.
Well, you guys started linking
No,
And ju-
that's-
and-
some of the
and-
stuff, so I just wanted that very clear.
And in Kelly's, not that you need a defense, but
Right.
on May 7th, when we had that meeting, and it was myself and Ms. Sather and Superintendent Carey and Director Peterson, Kelly did try to explain to him the situation, and Kelly did try to get him to stop his behavior. So I thank you for that support, as well as Mr. Carey. He has told him before to let it go and to, that he can't do some of the things that he's been doing. But
Why can't he?
Like-
He has been. Why can't he?
I know.
That's the question
I know,
have.
but I
Brandy,
guess,
I'm just, we're discussion. Why can't he? Tom, why can't he keep doing it? He has. What's going to stop him?
This is very serious, that it could get worse. I mean,
What's going to stop him from
that's right.
again,
belittling us or citizens or teachers or in his negotiations? What's going to stop him? Who's going to stop that behavior?
That's right.
We are.
Agreed.
That's it.
It's up to this board.
it's up to us to show support to each other and also to the superintendent. And again, I think what I'm hearing from everybody, I don't want to keep going around and around because, like I said, I've got my own feelings on the situation. And I think that what we need to do is I just need to go to the school attorney and ask again on the options. It sounds like more specifically, public censure. And the statement that you guys are making that it only takes 4 votes in order to remove a board member. What I have understood is that's not the case, so I will find that out through legal advisement, and I am going to respect what what the school attorney says, because they're the ones educated in the law. So,
But don't be afraid to seek out a different opinion
really
of a
must be
different attorney.
Yeah, I say it.
I understand that. I understand that.
I also, when you talk to them, just, I would love for that individual or that company, the law firm, I'd like some advice, because I've said some very strong language, and I would say it if he was sitting here too. But I might need protection as well, because I've taken a really hard stance. So just let, if you could have them contact me.
Well, I don't know if we can do that.
Oh, that's not what it's about?
Yeah,
So
I don't think you,
Make a log and, hey, this is item 35, 35th, whatever, finding or fact.
well,
Hand it to them and continue to build.
I think we just need to stay focused on what we
we're
need
here
to
to do.
And that's, like I said, it sounds like everybody would like me to find out more information about a public censure and about removal of a board member and the procedures of that. Am I hearing that correctly?
Yes.
Yes, you are the one that's attacked by this thing, Madam Chair, and I think we should go with your wishes,
Thank you,
what
Tom.
you do.
I
And I
appreciate
agree
it.
with it 100%.
I believe, if you were to, like I said, study that service manual, it tells you how you do it according to state statute.
But
Okay?
still, I dot my i's and cross my t's.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I
I
would
agree.
still consult
Continue
with
to
an
do.
attorney. So I'm going, that's what I will do. I'll consult with the school district attorney and find out what the options are with public censure and with removal of a board member. And, we might have to have another meeting on it or something, but for the sake of time, I'd like to move on wherever I put my, but thank you for bearing with me, because like I said, it was touch and go there for a little bit. All right, 12.5, set closed session to discuss negotiation strategies. So I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Sather, second by Addy. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 13.0, administrative report and information.
All right, we'll put her on fast forward here. So we're at 9:21 today. That's up 3 from the last time we met. A little bit about what's been going on with listening sessions. So we're done. We did 41 of them in all. It was a good time, actually. We learned a lot. All of that information that we learned is being compiled as we speak, and on June 4th at a collaborative meeting, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. That information will be given to the boards. Our survey went out last week. We actually got 44 of them back today already, hoping that more will start filtering in. Virginia's probably already done giving theirs, but they got their results back from the company that did theirs, and they gave out those results at their meeting tonight. Ours will be done, we're done collecting on May 21st, and then again on the 4th we'll present that information to the board. Just a little bit on the replacement. We still don't have any plumber apps. Our shop teacher, IT, information technology, no apps on that yet, although Miss Williams did tell me she had a possible lead. But of course somebody that doesn't have a teaching license, so we'll see how that goes. We have some other positions that are open, science, special ed, phy-ed, due to retirements or whatnot. We do have a few applicants in for those positions, and these two folks off on my right, they're going to start moving on that pretty quick before they're all gone. I think the most we have is 3 for a phy-ed position. So I did want to talk to you a little bit about activities director. I'm just going to shorten the conversation though and move it to a study session, but I did want to hand out, this was going to be my starting point. Probably the closest example I have is Virginia's activities director. So take that home and noodle it over, throw it on the back table there if you would. And when we get a study session going here, we'll discuss more on that. A little bit about what's going on in the schools. So we're wrapping up. We got 12 days left of school. On the 18th, the second grade's going to Forest History Center, first grade's going to Lake Superior Zoo, and kindergarten's going to the Children's Museum. On the 21st, the Safety Patrol is going to the Edge Water Park for their annual reward party for being a patrol. Also on the 21st, the third graders are going to the Great Lakes Aquarium. The 23rd is K through 2 track and field day. It's going to be a nice day, so we don't need the rain day. And the next following day is grades 3 and 4. And the final thing that I have on the 16th, we have our VINE, that's Volunteers in Education, and this is primarily in the elementary, so I'm mentioning it. We have their appreciation lunch. Of course, Mrs. Voss runs that program. I did hear a rumor that she may be retiring from that position, which would be a huge bummer, but it's been extremely beneficial, particularly at Franklin, all the volunteers that come in and all the hours that get put in, and we certainly appreciate all of it. We appreciate Mrs. Voss's work that she puts in organizing all that. Miners Bank sends their employees, excuse me. They all do time, and they can sound like a prison sentence, but they're all doing time up there, and lots of Honor Society kids, and it's just a great program that for our kids. So hopefully we get to do that next year. Finally, a thank you to the PTA up at Franklin for everything they did for Teacher Appreciation Week. They did something every day last week, and it was very much appreciated. You're up. Actually, Tom.
On Gilbert campus, we had our spring sing last Friday. Thanks to everyone who attended. We had a great turnout there. I see some of the kids there. That was the large number at the end where they all, I think, were singing Lean On Me. So anyway, congratulations to them for some great performances there. Moving on, we also had the junior high spring band and choir concert last Tuesday, May 8th. There's a couple photos there. Again, I heard nothing but positive comments about the great performance, so appreciate all the work that they do. Mr. Schumann and Ms. Forsman do with our students. Make the cut last week. We had some 6th graders up there making the cut. Some fine young examples of students that we have making the cut. If you come over to our campus, you can see our display case with a lot of pieces of cut tie in it and students' names signed on it. And then I was a little bit scared there, but I think I'm getting a little more comfortable as we go through this situation with Make the Cut. But anyway, we appreciate all the students' fine work that they do over there. Take a look at our Facebook post as well. And upcoming dates for us, I'm sure I've missed something here because there's so much coming up. But anyway, we have our awards program for the Nell Sheen on Tuesday, May 22nd at 1:30. Track and field day is Friday, May 25th. There is a rain date, but we won't need that as well because it's going to be a beautiful day. And the Junior High Student Council, Nell Sheen School Patrol, their trip to Valley Fairs on Wednesday, May 30th. Brings us up to the last day of school, Thursday, May 31st. Junior High Awards programs at 9:30 in the morning. Thank you.
And at the high school, we had our prom on Saturday, May 5th. And I'd like to thank Mrs. Krebs and the junior class for putting on a great prom. The first picture is Mrs. Krebs, and then our prom king and queen, Kyle Sickle and Lacey Boncoms, were voted. The middle picture is the background for the Grand March in the auditorium. And then on the last page is Director Chad, and I'd like to thank him for being at the prom, helping out, supervising.
There you go.
My pleasure.
Never get enough prom, huh?
What was the theme?
Enchanted Forest, thank you. And then this is Mrs. Bauman's food science class, and on Monday, May 7th, they went to the deck and got a tour from a head chef there, and then they also went to Port Authority, and they had a bus tour of how they transport food and goods. They talked about job employments, opportunities for the kids, and it was a good experience for the kids and for Mrs. Bauman. And then we have our awards program at the senior high this Wednesday, May 16th at 10 a.m. in the auditorium, and you're all invited to come to that. Our Memorial Day program will be Thursday, May 24th in the new gymnasium at 7 p.m. And then we have our graduation on Thursday, May 31st in the new gym at 7 o'clock. And I do need to know if all of you can make it. We order you a flower, and then you have a place to sit up on the stage during graduation. So if you can let me know if you can make it. 6:30 or 6:45, you'd have to be there on Thursday. So if you could just let me know if you can make it, I'd appreciate it.
Oops, okay, okay. That's fine. Upcoming things, so like I mentioned, on June 4th at 6 o'clock, we're going to have another collaborative meeting with Virginia. That night will be dedicated to presenting information, feedback that we've received back from the public through various means, be it listening session or survey. And then based on, you're just taking things in, obviously it's a study session. I'm trying to think, 7 days from then is June 11th would be the next regular meeting at which that issue would then come to a vote. And finally, we just need to study session. I've been here too long. Schedule a study session and a special session for, and I was hoping for next Monday night. What do you guys think?
That works for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that works for me too.
6 o'clock? 5?
I'd rather do 5, but it's not about me.
That's
5
right.
o'clock,
Would be nice.
okay, 5 p.m.
5? Okay.
And I'll be sending out an agenda soon. We got some items that we got to finish up from the last time, and a couple new things. We need to start talking about the budget and stuff like that. So, there you go. I got it. That's it, Madam Chair, for me.
Okay, Madam Chair, you mentioned something about, go back to 12.4, and you mentioned something, but you haven't brought it up yet, was the Code of Ethic violations that Director Peterson had violated. Can you tell us what he had violated, in your opinion?
Can I go back to that, Jeff, or should I?
You're the chair.
Not. I mean, we're kind of past that. I thought about it after we moved on, but
That's what the study session's about?
No.
Or not? Okay.
no. I mean, there's.
I know there's 3 or 4 other things we talked about for the study session for.
Right.
It's probably going to be a longer one.
And he's got a list too. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out where I put that. Code of Ethics. And you know, really, really, we should probably move on because we're past that already. And when I talk to the school district attorney, and then come back and we have another discussion, I can be more specific.
Okay, all right, good.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right. All right, so, we are
Take a little
going to,
recess.
yep, take a little recess and go into closed session.